Hello, guys. It's Dustin, and thank you so much for parking your butt with me. Today, we are going to be talking about high school. A lot of you guys have probably known me since I was in y'all probably watched me grow up. Some of y'all probably even knew me from middle school. Straight up. I've been doing YouTube for like my entire life. I've been on social media for like my entire life. Like I got Facebook when I was 6 years old. Who let me do that? I don't know, but damn well I wanted to play those Facebook games like Restaurant City, Farmville. Like I was on that shit. Are we jumping too quick into this? I feel like we're jumping too quick into this. I feel like we are. Let me do a weekly update. What went on this week? I don't even know. I don't even know what's been going on this week. First of all, I would just like to say thank you so much for the support on my latest episode, but just in the podcast in general. Genuinely, I've been loving this podcast so much. I've been loving, first of all, the community on this podcast. I feel like with my other content, I don't really get like comments that much, or like I don't know, I don't get a lot of interactions from my audience, which by the way, if you guys watch my content on YouTube or Instagram, please be interacting with my posts, please. Thank you so much. But I feel like with this podcast, like I genuinely feel so connected with you guys, and you guys actually be commenting. Oh, we're at 3K subscribers. Hey! Thank you so much. Also, I did read the comments about not changing my equipment, having the sock on a microphone. Yes, I am back with the sock and a microphone. Today we have a blue tie-dye sock from a Poppy PR, which, can we talk about that Poppy drama that was going on with the vending machine? Yeah, I used to get sent Poppy PR at my last apartment, and I don't know if they just stopped sending me PR or if they are still sending me PR and it's just getting sent to that apartment, and whoever is staying in that apartment is just taking all my shit. I've read the comments. A lot of y'all are saying, don't get a new microphone, don't get a new sock. But okay, guys, I might get a new microphone, but I will keep the sock. Yeah, so I heard you guys loud and clear. It's part of the brand now. It's going to be a part of the brand. And also, intro. No intro yet. I think this is just going to be an ongoing joke because when the fuck am I going to get an intro going? I don't know. I tried editing it this week. Guys, I cannot find a song. Like, there's just no song I could commit to. And I'm pretty sure I know I should probably get like just a custom jingle made and like ask one of my friends to produce it. But I'm like scared to ask them because I have no money. And I could ask them to like just do it for free, but I'm scared. I'm like scared. If any of you guys are my friends who like produce, will any of y'all make me a jingle? Let me know, because I'm like too scared to ask. I'm too scared to send the DM. I have a few people that would probably do it for me, but I'm too scared to ask. And I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know, like asking someone to work without paying them. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know, I get scared. It feels like a weird ask. And we're on the 8th episode. 8th episode, guys. There's like a statistic. I could be lying to you because I don't remember the source of where I heard this, probably from another podcast. But there's like a statistic that most podcasts end after 7 episodes. And baby, we're on the 8th episode. Hey, yeah. Beat that statistics. Yeah. We're on the 8th episode. Happy 8th episode, guys. It was one of my goals to make it past 7th episode, like a 7th episode, so I feel pretty accomplished right now. This weekend is the Oscars. This year, I'm not really, I don't know. I always say this, I am a film bro poser. I have never identified with being a cinephile. I identify with being a person who enjoys movies. That's me. I do enjoy movies. But I'm not the type that's going to watch every single movie, or I'm not going to watch a movie that I'm not enjoying just for the sake of it. Does that make sense? Like, I tried watching Party Girl the other day. Oh my god, I got like maybe halfway through it. I was so bored out of my mind. It's just not my type of movie. I turned it off. And I'm also not the type that's going to watch like every Oscar nominated movie just because it's nominated. Like, no, like, if the story isn't appealing to me, I'm not gonna watch it. Anyway, that being said, I really do like movies though, so you know damn well I'm gonna be tuning into the Oscars. And this weekend, I am going over to my friend Ella's, who is a big film buff, and gonna watch the Oscars with her, which I've never really watched the Oscars with anybody before. So actually, that's a lie. That is a lie. There was one time where I did have a hookup and I watched the Oscars with them. So, but that's lore for another day. That's a story time for another. Maybe a story time for the Patreon, which Patreon plug. I gotta do it, guys. Also, I was getting comments about like not you hyping up a story just to like put it on Patreon. And I'm like, guys, that's I'm sorry, baby, but that's how promotion works. That's how promo works. If I didn't put like stuff that was worth it on Patreon, no one would subscribe to the Patreon. That's like how it works, and that's why I have to promo it like that. Because like it makes it more enticing to subscribe to, like that's how it works. This is how Patreon works. Because if I put all the juicy stuff on here only, then what's the point of going over to Patreon? Why even go over to Patreon other than to support me? Maybe you love me or something and you appreciate me and you want to support me a little bit. That'd be amazing. But yeah, like I've read a few comments about that. I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, but some stuff is gonna have to be on Patreon, and also some stuff has to be on Patreon, like kind of monetization wise and vulgarity. Is that even a word? Vulgar wise, it has to go on Patreon. And last week was literally a story about me getting hate crimes and called a slur on the streets of San Francisco. Of course, maybe I don't want to share that on here. Maybe I don't want that negativity up in our space that I've curated for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to go over on Patreon, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you guys would like to, check out my Patreon. If you would like extra content, every single week, I do a 30-minute extended episode. So after I finish filming this main episode, I leave cameras rolling for 30 more minutes and I put that onto Patreon, as well as any other extra content. I have a few old podcasts on there where I'm telling like juicy stories. I have bonus videos. There's a bonus video tier. I just posted my record vinyl collection video on there yesterday. And also, if you'd like to be featured in the Getting Deep in the Passenger Seat, I have that segment on the podcast. And if you want to be able to ask me a question, need advice on something, then you can ask me that on Patreon and I'll answer in the podcast. So, yeah, that's the Patreon plug. All right, let's get into the episode. Today, I am talking about high school. Today, we're going down memory lane. We're going to reflect on high school, the nostalgia of it all. Right now, I would be, if I were to go to college, which I didn't, I'm a college dropout. I went for approximately one semester. I would be graduated right now or about to graduate. And high school, it feels like just yesterday, but also I realize it was over 4 years ago. It was a lifetime ago. It feels both at the same time. High school was very, very interesting. My experience was super interesting because my senior year was cut short and I basically ended high school early because of COVID. Like school basically ended that March when everything shut down. Like I was done. But let me not get too ahead of myself. I have my points here. Let's get into it. So who was I in high school? People, if I were to ask other people this, they'd probably think I was like really quiet. I was the type of person who I was not popular in high school. Let that be known. Like I feel like that's a question that people always ask each other. It's like, "Oh, like who were you in high school? Were you popular?" I was not popular in high school. Okay? Like I had friends and I stuck to my friends. I only liked certain people, and with the certain people I liked, I like stuck with them. But I will say I didn't have like a solid friend group in high school. I feel like all my friends had other friends, but my friends were my only friends. Does that make sense? That's kind of the vibe I was on. All my other friends had like other best friends, other groups of friends, and my group of friends were my only group of friends. So I was not popular in high school. Like I feel like people knew me, but solely because I had a YouTube channel. That's like the only reason why people knew me. I mean, I was social. Like I went to some events. I, helped with like the homecoming float. Like I was a part of the school somewhat, but I wouldn't say I was popular. I wasn't, getting invited to all the parties. I only went to one high school party, but we'll get into that later. In general, I feel like people, if they were to describe me, they would probably have just described me as quiet and academic. I was very academic in high school, I will say. I feel like that's a common misconception about people who don't go to college, people who drop out of college, is that even though I feel like a lot of people, if you guys watched my videos, you guys kind of knew my character, but I wasn't dumb. Like, I was pretty academic. How my high school years went was I would go to school, I would work hard in school, and then outside of school, I was working on my YouTube channel. That's kind of how the entirety of my high school years went. I worked so hard because, first of all, I'm Asian, grew up in an Asian household, gotta get those A's. But I did have a 4.0 GPA. I had a little bit more of I had like a 4.03 GPA or something like that. I did that just so I could have a backup plan if, like, I don't know. I kind of always thought I was going to go to college. I knew I wanted to do like creative stuff. I wanted to be in entertainment. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to do music. I want to do all those things, but I was just the type that I still am to this day. I always like having a bit of security. So me working hard in school was kind of just like mandatory for me to have a backup plan. Um, I mean, now it's kind of like that all was a waste because look what I'm doing now. But I guess I could always go back to school, but I don't know. I don't even know how that would work. Like, do my old high school grades still even count? Do I have to go to community college first and transfer? I don't know. I'm not planning on going back to school, but yeah, that all being said, I feel like I would have been invisible if I did not have a YouTube channel. Genuinely. I was talking to this with my significant other the other day that if I did not have my YouTube channel, I would be invisible. Like, no one would have cared about me. I feel like other than my friends, like, no one would have known who I was without my YouTube. I feel like the only reason why people knew me in school was because of my YouTube channel. Like, I remember I went to one high school party, which I'll go into later, but like someone came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, wait, don't you have a YouTube channel?" Like, that was like what I was known for. Like, if someone knew me, it was because of my YouTube channel. I wanted to go through the tier, like each year, and kind of just describe those eras for me, those eras for me. Let's start with freshman year. I would call this my artist era. I thought I was gonna like honestly, if I didn't have social media, if I didn't want to do music, I probably would go the artist route. I thought I was gonna be an artist, so I was taking a lot of art classes my freshman year. I stacked up. I remember my second semester of freshman year, I was like in a class full of like juniors and seniors because I was just like in a higher art class. I remember I would like just art all the time. That was like the whole entire vibe of my high school classes. And I didn't have many friends because all of my best friends from middle school, who I'm still friends with to this day, we had a group of 4 in middle school. We all went separate ways in high school. Like, each and every single one of us went to a different high school. It was kind of crazy. Like, what are the odds of that? So I started out like with a blank slate. Other than like some people I knew from my middle school did go to my high school, such as one of my best friends to this day, Amber. Amber, okay, I remember going in, I was obviously trying to make more friends my freshman year. I remember I went to the homecoming game alone. So awkward. Also, you gotta realize, like, I was just like this short little kid, nerdy ass glasses. I think I had braces at the time. Like, I was so awkward. I feel like kids these days don't really go through awkward stages. I looked so awkward. So I go to the homecoming game alone, no friends. I only know my friend Amber, basically. And me and Amber, like, at this point, freshman year and in middle school, we weren't really friends like that. Like, we knew of each other. Like, I think we have a picture together because we both were going to Wood Creek and we are like, oh my God, let's take a picture together because we're both going to Wood Creek. Come on, go Timberwolves, go Timberwolves. That was my high school, by the way. But we were not close at all, like, at this point. My friend Amber she was like a popular girl, so she had like a ton of friends and stuff like that. I did not. I remember I was awkwardly sitting behind them and I was like, hey, Amber, like, blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't know if this was like I should talk to her about this. I don't know if it was like a pity invite, but like she invited me to like sit with them and it was just so awkward. I honestly find it very ironic that like we're now so close because I would have never thought that in the beginning. Okay, my sophomore year, I would say this is when I really got into dance and I started getting more into the dance community. I joined the dance program at my school. My freshman year, I did join the hip hop club. Throughout high school, I was kind of in and out of the hip hop. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys don't know, I used to dance. Not too much anymore, but I do have a little bit of dance background. So freshman year is when I joined hip hop club. I was on and off of that throughout the years just because it wasn't super organized and I just didn't vibe with it that much. So yeah, but I was a part of that. And then I started getting into the dance classes. And that was my sophomore year. Junior year is when my YouTube started picking up. this is when I posted the infamous Vine Day compilation. One of my school spirit days was Vine, like memes. This was like my calling. Like this, I was an internet kid, okay? So I filmed because at this time also, I think a lot of schools were doing like Vine Day spirit days. And I made a compilation and recorded all the people at my school that I was friends or like knew of and had them do the Vine and made a compilation post on YouTube. Bro, that shit has 1 million views. I think it's probably still one of my like highest viewing videos to this day. And I think this is when my YouTube career actually started picking up was due to that. And I was also posting other cringy ass videos that you can go look back on, but I'm not going to describe them today because I don't want to. And this is when YouTube really started picking up. And then senior year, I will say this is when I I was in dance still. I also joined drama, not by choice. Um, it was because it was the only elective left and guitar wasn't available. But turns out I really liked that class. Too bad that COVID happened, so it ended early, so I didn't, get to join drama or get to really get into drama. But I don't know. I remember like I thought acting would be super hard, which it is hard, but I thought I would be bad at it, so I never joined in high school. Now, I would say that's one of my high school regrets is that I didn't do drama and didn't do like musical theater like that. I probably would have thrived in that and would have really loved that, but I just didn't do it. COVID happened, ended my senior year really early, didn't get a graduation, didn't get a senior prom, didn't get like a senior dance showcase because I was part of the dance classes and program there. Didn't get any of that stuff. But this is also when YouTube, like I was on that full YouTube swing. Like this, I will say without COVID, my YouTube career probably wouldn't have happened. Like I feel like that's what created the boom of my YouTube channel. That's kind of the rundown of like each year and what I remember from those years. And back to like never getting a graduation, never getting a senior prom, never getting like a senior dance showcase. I think that still stunts me to this day. Not getting a graduation, not getting that like milestone achieved, like not getting to experience that event of achieving that stunts me. Like high school, I feel like people talk about the 2020 effect. I still feel like high school was not that long ago, but it was like 4 to 5 years ago for me. And I think a big reason for this is because of COVID and because I didn't get to go to a graduation. I didn't get to walk the stage. Like we had like a little card type makeshift graduation. I didn't get a senior prom, where we get, I didn't get any of that. I didn't get the closure of high school. So to this day, I feel like that wound is still open. It's still stunted. And it sucks because it's like, wow, like everybody else got it but me. And it really sucks. And I didn't go to college. So I don't get that graduation. So I've never really experienced a graduation. I don't know. It sucks like working all those years throughout school to not get the things that you've worked towards. Like those are like such like I feel like although some people would look back and think it's like unimportant, I feel like it's still like, a big part of coming of age, a big part of your adolescence. And the fact that I didn't get that like affects me, and I feel like that makes sense. I wish I got a graduation, man, and like a prom and like a senior dance showcase. Because by the way, the senior dance showcase is when all the seniors get to like choreograph dances. And that would have been my first time like choreographing a dance, but that got cut out. And let's talk about dance because that was like a big part of my high school career. Like a lot of my friends were from dance. I really enjoyed dance. Like my high school wasn't like an art school. I so badly wish I did go to like an art school, like Hollywood Arts in Victorious or some shit. Like I really wish I did went to like a specific art school. I feel like that would have been so beneficial for me because the dance program in my school wasn't like the best thing in the world, I will say. And I feel like it could have been better, but it was still so much fun. And I remember we would have dance shows and those were really fun. I remember I have such big stage fright that I would be like shaking in my boots before every show. But I will say I think the dance shows were a big part of my high school years. The dance program was a big part of who I was back then. Let's get into my high school's vibe. So these are the notes I wrote down for my high school's vibe. White. Period. That's it. My high school, my high school was the type that would play Sweet Caroline and Mr. Brightside during school rallies. That's the kind of high school I went to, if you get what I'm putting down. My first high school party I went to, I actually vlogged it. Or actually no, I think I did a story. I went to 2 high school parties my entire high school career. And one of them was just so I can vlog it, and that's still on my YouTube channel to this day. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke in high school. I barely even do those things to this day. Like, I mean, I drink occasionally, like back then, like high schoolers were doing it like every weekend and stuff, and I just never did that. That was never really who I was. I'm glad I waited too, because like even to this day, I feel like I'm already kind of getting tired of drinking and stuff like that, and I'm only 22, you know? So imagine if I was like drinking when I was 16. Oh my God. I don't know how people like I get so tired of it. It's like so much. It takes over your body. It's like so much. But I never did those things. And I remember like the high school partying experience for me wasn't all that. There was this one girl who would always host the parties. Like she was like the one who is the party hoster. They were cool or whatever. They were small. Like the house was small. It wasn't like a big high school house. Like I never went to a high school party that was actually like a big, like what you see in the movies. And can we just talk about how the rich people need to start standing up? They need to start participating and doing their role of what, if you got given the luxury of coming from a rich, privileged family, you better damn well be using your house to host the parties. I don't get this. Like, why? I know there were rich people at my school. I live in like a white city. Like, I know some of y'all are rich and have mansions. Why aren't you guys throwing the parties? If you are rich, throw the party. Throw the party. If you have the big house, throw the freaking party, okay? Okay? Like, I know your parents would let you. I know your parents will let you. Like, I'm thinking about like 10 things I hate about you and stuff like that. Those parties, I've never experienced one of those parties before, even to this day. But in high school, like, I genuinely thought the parties would be like that. Nah, like, imagine like a 1-2 bedroom, little, like 1-story home. That's the parties that were being hosted in my high school. At least the ones that I knew of and like went to. But as a rich person, like that is your role, that is your duty to host the party. Okay? Make it like a movie. Okay? I don't really have that much to say about like the high school partying scene because I didn't really have that era for myself. I didn't even drink. I remember when I would go, I would just like pretend to hold an empty drink just so I wouldn't feel awkward. But I remember in general, it was just pretty lame. Like, I would just sit on the couch. I would just sit on the couch, talk to my friends a little bit. That's it. Like, it was so boring. I would always be like the first one to leave. It was just not for me. Not for me. I don't know. It was just kind of lame to me. Especially if you're not drinking, of course it's gonna be lame. But also, I don't think I had like the solid friend group to like drink like that. Like I don't know where I would even go. That just wasn't my scene. I wanted to note some things that happened at my school, some crazy shit. So we had like Vista Kicks. If you guys know them, they're like a indie band. They are from my city. They went to my high school, so they performed at my high school. So we had Vista Kicks perform. We also had a girl who like won a competition, had one of those like white boy bands at the time come to our school and perform, and it was very awkward. I can't remember what they were called. Like I want to say Pretty Much, but I don't think it was them. It was like an all white boy band. It was during like Musically days or something like that. Can you guys just like name any white boy band for me that didn't blow up? They were kind of just like mid-tier boy band. Kind of like Pretty Much, but they weren't Pretty Much. They were like an all white boy band. Let me know and I'll heart the comment that I think is correct. Like we had one of those boy bands come because like someone won a competition. We had a lot of unalivings at my school. um, this is kind of dark. But I remember my freshman year, we had like a bunch of unalivings, like self unalivings. And that was really sad. And then I think at some point, like they were just happening so often that they just stopped. Like, cause I remember the first time it happened, like we all like had a moment in class and we all talked about it and stuff like that. But then I think it happened so often that they just kind of just stopped. Also, we literally had a girl who was like martyred, like her whole family was, and it was by the dad. And then the dad unalived himself as well. So that happened as well. But my school didn't talk about that for some reason. My school, for some reason, did not talk about that. There was like a memorial page on my yearbook, but it was like the tiniest little thing ever. Like, by the way, tell me why. Okay, so I was featured in the yearbook. Like, I have a whole spread page in the yearbook about me because of my YouTube channel. Tell me why my page was bigger than the memorial page. Like, let me try to. Where is my yearbook? I think it's somewhere here. Let me see. Let me see. If you guys are an audio listener, I am now holding my yearbook. Um, Let me flip through. I haven't opened this in ages. This is crazy. Wow, I do not remember any of these people. This is so crazy. I wonder what they're up to. Okay, where the hell's my page? Also, where's the senior superlatives? We had like the weirdest superlatives. Oh, this is like my friend Amber's most likely to be Bob Ross. Like we had those kind of I wish we would have had like just like normal superlatives like class clown, best dressed. But nah, they had to do like the weird ass quirky superlatives. And also, it's so funny because my friend Amber is in this right now. But we also didn't get senior quotes. We got senior signatures, which is also very lame. Oh my god! Oh, okay. This was my superlative. My superlative was most likely to be TikTok famous. Oh my god, this is so awkward. Look at me. That is me. Wearing this ugly ass fit. Wearing a beanie with a cowboy hat on top of it because they gave us props. Okay, so most likely to be TikTok famous. Over the past few years, the social media app TikTok has risen in popularity among youth all around the world. It consists of short video, blah, 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 blah. A TikToker whose video has gone viral is described as becoming TikTok famous. Seniors Dustin Vong, I'm not going to name the girl, have both experienced their videos going viral on the For You page, which has led them to being nominated for most likely to be TikTok famous. Vong described his videos that made it on the For You page. My first one was just doing a dance, like one of the popular dances. The other ones are just funnier ranting ones. It's fun, and also, if we're talking business-wise and algorithm-wise, it's super easy to gain followers. Starting off on YouTube, Vong then joined TikTok. Vong started, I think I have 150k followers and 2 million likes, but I wouldn't consider myself TikTok famous. Alright, cool. Okay, so I guess that was my senior superlative. Lame, kind of, though. I do also have a page on here, like, about my YouTube channel. I just cannot find it for the life of me. But it's like a literal like huge spread, and then the memorial is like this big, which is crazy to me. We also had like a situation where a teacher got fired because he was a predator and like touching people inappropriately. So yeah, my school had some lore. My school was had some drama, some bad stuff. Oh, we also had like a senior our freshman year or some or I don't know if it was our freshman year, but we had a senior who went to jail because he recorded himself having S word with a freshman. So he did go to jail. I think he got bail or something, but he did go to jail. So we also had that. um, so yeah, that's my high school's lore. I was also part of Key Club, which every fucking Asian is, yes. I can't even say I was really part of Key Club because like I would go for a little bit in the beginning of the year and then stop going. And I never reached my hours. Like you have to do like 25 hours or something of community service. I never achieved that. Like I remember I would just go for fun to this like book volunteering job. I would just go to hang out with friends, honestly. Like so I can't even say I was really a part of Key Club, but I was all up in Fall Rally North. I will say that. I was all up in Fall Rally North. If you guys don't know, Fall Rally North is basically like, I think like the Northern Key Club region. We all go to Six Flags together. Yo, that was like so much fun. Key Club, Key Club, that shit was fire. That was so fun. I loved Key Club, Fall Rally North. I got to see like my friends I haven't seen in a while. Like, we got to go on roller coasters. Like, that shit was fun. And I remember like I would run into subscribers all the time there. So I was like, I don't know, it's just like fun. Shout out Key Club. Y'all, what y'all know about Key Club? What y'all know about Key Club? 44 North. Let's go. Okay. I also wrote down my first B. I remember my sophomore year, English. I got my first ever B, and that rocked my shit. Like, I was just the type that like would freak out if I had a B plus. Like, I thought I was gonna go to college. I wanted straight A's. Like, I wanted a good GPA. Like, I was about that shit. And I will never forget you, Mr. Manfredi. I will never forget. Oh my, wait, actually, he was like literally mean. He was a bitch, actually. My sophomore year, so he didn't allow like drinks or food in his classroom. I remember it was like the end of class. Like it was the end of class. We were all packed up, about all ready to go, and I was severely underweight sophomore year where I went to the doctor and they had to give me Pediasure, which is those little kid drinks to like gain weight. And I remember I had it in class. It was the end of class. The bell was about to ring. We were about to go. I had it like on my desk or whatever, and I was drinking it, which I guess you're not supposed to drink in class, whatever. But we were about to leave. It's not like I was like drinking during class. And also, like, this is fucking Pediasure. Like, I have to drink this shit. Like, I need to gain weight. And we're just like waiting for like the bell to ring or whatever. And I'm like drinking it. And he comes by, grabs it, throws it in the trash. Also, actually, I think at this point, it wasn't even open. It wasn't open because I remember this is what I did because I just did not give a fuck. I remember right when the bell rang, I walked right to the trash can, took that shit out, and left, and like started drinking it again. Like fuck you, Mr. Manfredi, fuck you. Like actually, he was one of those teachers that was like, he thought he was funny because he was mean. Okay, annoying ass bitch, and he was white, which made it even worse. Like that, honestly, hate crime. Like that made it even worse. Like this white man who was just mean but thought he was like fuck you. I will never forget when he gave me a B. Like I had a B plus in the class, and this was gonna be my first B ever. And I remember I was begging, like I went in, asked for like, is there any extra credit? Is there any way you can bump my grade? I'm pretty sure it was like an 89% or something, or possibly an 88, but I feel like 80. I don't remember, but it was a B plus. And I was like, is there any way you could just like bump this to a 90, like at all? Like, is there any extra credit I can do? Please, like, is there anything I can do? And I was like begging. And also, one of my tips is like, if you can, I would cry in front of a teacher. Like, if you're going in for that, cry. You need to cry. But the thing about me is like, I can't cry. Like, I don't really cry, so I couldn't do that. So all I could really do was beg. But if you were able to pull out tears, I think that's the best way to manipulate a teacher. To manipulate a teacher. No, to like get a grade bump is to like cry. I remember a lot of people I knew would do that and it would work, and I just couldn't do that. So I just had to go down the begging route. I literally emailed him like over and over again. Like emailed him probably like 4 times, like, please, like bump my grade, please, please. To the point where he had to email me back and be like, please stop. Like, please stop. And to this day, I still remember he was the one that gave me my first B. I think the only other B I've ever gotten was pre-calculus. And that's because that shit, I have never struggled in a class in my life, but for some reason, pre-calculus has been the only class I've ever struggled in. I had an A in that class, but I left the final half blank because I just could not do it. And then that dropped me to a B plus. So yeah. So those were the only 2 Bs I've ever gotten in high school, but I took some AP classes so I could like bump my GPA up. There's some things I do miss about high school. I know a lot of people, like even me, I don't really like miss high school that often, but there are some aspects of it that I do miss. And that being like my friends and the community there. I feel like once you leave high school, you don't really like see anyone ever again or talk to anyone ever again. Me though, I do like a few people I still talk to this day. Like once you're my friend, you're kind of like my friend forever. Most of my friends, I've been friends for years and years and years. But I do miss like being able to see my friends on a normal like daily basis. And I miss like those moments like the hangouts right before school starts when like you would gather in someone's car and hang out before the bell rings, or um like the routine, or like the Sonic runs, or like going to Sonic with your friends, or the excitement of it all. I really do miss that part of high school, and I feel like there's just such like a carefree time in high school. But yeah, overall, like I feel like high school was such an it was such like an important time for me. Like I remember it took me so long to get out of that like high school Dustin phase. For a while there, being in high school was such a big part of my branding and my videos, and I was so obsessed with coming of age, and I remember I was so like obsessed with having the perfect teenage life, the perfect adolescence, like going to prom, having that graduation, having that summer romance, stuff like that. And I never really got to experience that. I feel like my high school years was actually pretty boring. It was pretty uneventful. I guess I'm just here to say, like, if you're in high school right now, like it may feel like your entire life right now and that it is everything and is so important, which of course it is because it is your life right now. Just remember that there's so much more life to live outside of high school. those are only 4 years of your life, and when I tell you when you graduate, nothing you learned in high school, y like, it is not relevant to the real world. Some aspects, obviously, but, like, high school is such a minuscule part of your life. You're not it is once you're out of it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, like, high school? Like, what even was that?" Like, I don't even remember a lot of things from high school. You don't see, like, anyone ever again, like, genuinely, unless you live in your hometown and you're, like, going to like, the only times I'll see people is if I ever go t which I rarely ever do, go to the bars in my hometown. That's when I'll, like it's like a fucking high school reunion up in there. Other than that, like, you will never see those people again. Unless they're, like, your best friends, you might see them again. Because like, for me, like, I, like, have my handful of friends I kept, but high school is not all that, like, I feel like I genuinely have been living my life ever since post-high school. Ever since, like, the past few years is when I feel like, "Wow, I've done so much with my life. It's so fun and exciting." Yeah, there's just so much more life to live outside of high school. Outside of high school is when you actually get to have the freedom to do whatever you want. You actually are, like have the money and freedom to do stuff. So, yeah, and I have some other advice if you're in high school right now. Here's some advice for my high schoolers out there. Dress and express yourself however you want. Speak out. Say whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Like dress however you want. Like dress crazy. Do not care about those people who like would make fun of you or judge you. You will never see those people again, and those are losers. They will peak in high school, and they are losers. I don't think I actually ever got bullied in high school because or my YouTube channel, but if someone like bullied me about my YouTube channel, imagine me now. Imagine if I just stopped. Imagine if I stopped. I wouldn't have had so many opportunities. I wouldn't be able to make this a career. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that. And be carefree. Like, I remember in high school, like, I wanted to be popular and cool so bad. And if I were to, like, go back and give myself advice, I'd be like, Dustin, don't care about that. Just care about making good friends that you love and care about being yourself, authentically yourself. Don't box yourself in and try to fit in and try to be cool and, like, also, I would say, like, participate in school more. Do the school spirit days. Participate in, like, those events, like, oh, like, helping build the homecoming float, stuff like that. Like, participate in that stuff because that's, like, the fun part about high school is it might seem lame, might seem like, oh, like, you're dressing up for a spirit day, but don't care about anybody else. Do it for you. It is so much fun if you participate in those things, and that's what makes high school fun. If everyone participated in those things, that would be fun. And speak to everybody too. I feel like I was very judgmental of people, especially like the quote unquote popular kids, especially guys. Like I mean, honestly, maybe I was right to judge those guys because like I feel like I was right about that. But in high school, being in the locker room, I would hear like locker room talk and stuff like that, and it made me very judgmental of people. And it made me like kind of generalize people a lot. But I wish I was out there more and like talked to more people and made friends with more people because you never know. Like, I feel like I was so judgmental about people who I was meeting, who I wanted to be friends with, when, like, you never really know how someone is unless you actually talk to them and meet them. So I wish I did that more, and I wish I was, like, more open to, like, just making more friends with new people. And yeah, in general, I just wish I just, like, cared less. Like, obviously, to a certain extent, like, I dressed however I wanted. I was literally vlogging in school. But I wish I was more carefree, even more authentically carefree and, like, authentic to myself and, to an aspect I was, but I wish I even more was that. I wish I was unapologetically myself. So that's what I would recommend in high school, and, like, that's also how you are cool. Like, the people who are cool, you might think those people who are, like, the jocks or, like, the cheerleaders or whatever, you might think they're, like, the popular cool people because they, I don't know, fucking congregate in the middle of the school after school and, like, all talk to each other or something like that. I don't know if that was just my school, but, like, I feel like all the popular kids would just, like, congregate in the center of the school for some reason and just, like, talk after school. Just know that they are not cool. Like, they are not cool. Like, what makes them cool is, like, those people who, like, dressed fucking batshit crazy. Like, they may be looking crazy, but at least they're dressing uniquely to themselves, and they do not care what anyone else thinks. And they're gonna speak out, and they're gonna talk about whatever they want. They're gonna say whatever they want. They're gonna do whatever they want. Those are the actual cool people. Those people who are like are just doing them and doing what they want, achieving what they want. Let's say like they're doing like I don't know, achieving their dreams. Like for me, I'm like thinking about like my YouTube channels and social media and stuff. Like those people who are just like authentically being themselves, authentically doing whatever they want. Those are the cool people at the end of the day. That is what makes someone cool. And you don't want like you shouldn't care about these high schoolers thinking you're cool. You should care about yourself. Do you think you're cool? And also, I feel like those naturally, if you're just being yourself, doing what you want, dressing however you want, that's what makes you cool. And other people will think that too. Other people outside of high school will think you're cool. Because when I see a kid who's like totally being themselves, totally just confident in themselves, I think they're so cool. So that is my advice for you high schoolers. Also, academically, like remember, it's really not that all that. Like, there's so many other options. If you are doing poorly in school, or like, for example, when I got that fucking B and was freaking the fuck out thinking I wouldn't go to college because I got that B, like, there's so many other options to go to college, like starting at community college and transferring. That is such a good option. So many people do that. And you can transfer to such a good school. Like, I have a friend who transferred to UCLA. Like, you know, there's just so many ways to do that. And high school is not everything. So don't stress out. And also at the end of the day, like, high school really doesn't matter. Like, it does to a certain extent, like, depending on what you want to be and stuff like that somewhat, but you can always pick yourself back up after high school. You can always, again, go to community college, or if you go straight to college, like, like there's just so much more life to live. There's so many other aspects, and like a lot of things you learn in high school do not apply to real life. A lot of things you learn in college do not apply to like real life. You can get a job without college. You can get a job. I mean, I would get that high school degree. I would say get that high school degree at least, but you know what I mean? All right, moving on to getting deep in the passenger seat. This is the segment where I answer your guys' questions and give you guys advice if you guys have any. And I get those questions off of Patreon. So if you guys would like to ask me a question or want advice on anything, go on to Patreon and ask that. All right. So, first question. I know you've already spoken about your solo travels, but any advice for a first time solo traveler? I'm going to Berlin in the summer for a festival, and I'll be staying in a hostel for the first time too. Any advice on how to be friendly and approachable is much appreciated. Hostels are such social places, and they are like a beacon and a hub of social people, because mostly people who stay there are like solo travelers, or like backpackers and stuff like that. And those people naturally want to make friends. They're naturally social. And also, if you like already have the guts to stay in a hostel and the guts to like travel and solo travel, like you're gonna be like pretty cool people already. You're gonna already be social, you know? There's gonna be a lot of like-minded people, and usually people who do this are also really young. So you're usually around the same age as well. So I wouldn't really stress out too much about socializing. When it comes to being friendly and approachable, just like when you go into a hostel, what I do is I'm like, hey everybody, like what's your guys' names? And I introduce myself to everybody, talk to people. Like when someone comes in the room, say hi. Be like, what are you guys up to today? What are your guys' plans? Where are you guys from? Stuff like that. Those are like very common things people ask. What do you guys want to see here in the city? Whatever. What's your guys' travel plans? How long you guys been traveling for? Those are some questions you could be asking. Um, Other things is like literally just approach people. You don't have to look approachable. Go up to people, approach them yourself, and talk to them with confidence. Because that's like I think the easy. Like don't stress out about it. Like it's so easy. It's literally so easy. And I don't know if it's just because I'm like an extrovert, but I would say just do those things. Literally, a girl came in to the hostel, and now we're like actual friends. Her name's Hannah. Shout out Hannah. Um, Literally in Rome, she came into the hostel, and I was like, "Hey, you want to go get dinner?" And then we went and got dinner. Like literally, just had a short conversation. I was like, "You want to go get dinner?" And yeah. So it was that easy. So yeah, other advice for first time solo traveling, like try everything, be out there, be social, go out. Try to maintain your energy. Don't go out too late. Don't go out too often. Don't go crazy with the drinking. But you're gonna be in Berlin, girl. So honestly, go crazy. Go crazy. I really want to go to Berlin. I was planning on, I was seeing if I should go abroad this year, but I haven't decided against it. But I really want to. What do you guys think? Should I go to abroad this year? Because I found some really cheap London tickets, and I was like, oh my God, like I should go abroad. I should go abroad. But I don't know. I don't think I should. Like, I decided against it. I spent so much money on my backpacking trip last summer, and I feel like this year it would be good for me to like stay in the States. And I'm already gonna be spending money in the States. Like, I'm gonna be traveling in the States. Like later this month, I'm going to Portland, and I'm gonna go to the Oregon coast, which I'm really excited about. And I know this summer I'm also gonna be in LA. I'm gonna be in Seattle. I'm I possibly might go to Denver. I'm gonna ask my friend maybe, because I kind of want to go to Denver, and also I want to go to New York in the fall. So like I have a lot of travel plans already this year where I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't go abroad. But like the Euro summer is so like enticing though. Like The fact that I got to experience a Euro summer last summer, I'm like, ah, like I need that though. I need that again. What do you guys think? Let me know. I just don't have money for it. Like I do not have the money for it, but I feel like maybe I could try to make something work for like a month in Europe again. I don't I don't know. I don't know. I'm so tempted, but I have no money. But yeah, Euro summer, baby. We'll see. We'll see. But also, I kind of wanted to have like kind of a California summer and like go to Yosemite, go camping, stuff like that. I really want to be out in nature and explore California more, so maybe I'll just do that instead. Also, Coachella's coming up, guys. Coachella is coming up, and that's kind of why I'm honing in on my fitness thing because I'm like, oh my god, Coachella's 1 month away. I have to look good. I don't even have tickets yet. I don't even know if I'm going to Coachella, like 100%. But like, I'm kind of like thinking, planning as if I am already going. But I should probably like lock in on that soon. Are you guys going to Coachella? Let me know. It was one of my manifestations to go to Coachella, like get invited by a brand and go to Coachella. Maybe I'll like post a video that's like, oh, outfits I would wear to Coachella if anyone wants to send me to Coachella, something like that. If you're a brand listening to this, and you would like to invite me to Coachella, please, I would be so grateful. Either way, I think I'm gonna go. Hopefully, if I can like buy a ticket somehow, I don't know, but it was my manifestations to get invited by a brand and go to Coachella. So if any brands out there are listening and would like to send me to Coachella, I would be so grateful. I would be so grateful. Last question is there any style slash genre of music that you'd really like to try? Right now, I'm still trying to figure out what my sound is, and I think that route is like kind of just like pop and indie pop. But I would also love to try like jazz or like R&B. I really love R&B music. Honestly, this is kind of a route that I'm thinking about going, like dreamy shoegaze music, like Cigarettes After Sex, Beach House, stuff like that. Because I do really love, or the Marias. Like I really love that genre of music a lot. I find it so relaxing, and it's been a big part of my life. And I also feel like it's very well fitting with my voice and my tone. So yeah, I think that style would be really cool to get into. All right, on Aux this week, we got Carnival by the Cardigans, The Downtown Lights by the Blue Nile. And for movies, I rewatched Lady Bird, my significant other. I gave them a tour of Sacramento and like they got to see like the rose gardens. I showed them the blue house, all of that. And they never seen Lady Bird before. So I was showing them these things and I was like, okay, keep these in mind. And then we watched Lady Bird, which was really cool because it's like, wow, we were just in these spots and now we're seeing it in the movie. And they really loved it. I fucking love that movie. Lady Bird is one of my favorite movies. I think Lady Bird is only valid because I feel like it's kind of a basic movie, right? It's kind of like a very mainstream movie. And I feel like putting it in your top 4 is basic unless you're from Sacramento. If you're from Sacramento, that is valid. Like, because you have that connection. It is like Lady Bird is in my top 4, and I feel like Lady Bird should only be in your top 4 if you're from Sacramento, because then it's like that makes sense. That makes sense. That's who you are. But I'm also such a hypocrite because when I see someone else who has Lady Bird in their top 4 who's not from Sacramento, I'm like, oh, basic, as I have Lady Bird in my top 4 too. But I'm from Sacramento, and I'm not judging you if you do have Lady Bird in your top 4. You know, it's a good fucking movie. That shit. Oh my, I love that shit. This time around watching it though, like. It actually went by really fast. I was like, whoa, I do not remember the movie going by this fast. Like, I feel like I am now growing into a different person because I watched this movie and I was like, wow, Lady Bird is a bitch. All the other times I've watched the movie, I actually really liked Lady Bird. But now watching, I was like, wow, Lady Bird is actually a mean bitch. She is such a bitch. And I never really saw that before. So maybe that means I'm growing as a person. I do not know. But yeah, love Lady Bird. If you haven't seen it, what are you fucking doing? Go watch that. This was my review. All caps. God, every time I watch this movie, it makes me feel alive. Like, God, I love it so much. And that was my review. Should I read my other review? This is my other review of Lady Bird that I feel like is actually pretty well written and a lot of people seem to like it. This was July 23rd, 2023, which was not the first time I watched Lady Bird, by the way, but when I first watched Lady Bird, it was, I think, like 2021 or 2020, but I did not have Letterboxd at the time. I've been feeling a little off lately, so I decided to do another rewatch to keep me company while I rearranged my room on this lazy Sunday. Felt like I was in high school again when I had so much time on my hands. All I do is watch movies alone and redecorate my room. This movie means so much to me. It was the first film I truly connected to. A lot of it could be due to the nostalgia factor of me growing up in Sacramento, but I really think it's more than that. Greta Gerwig, the most talented and passionate woman ever, love her OMG, wrote a story that has so many complexities and hidden meanings, all of them being so universally relatable. One thing I love about this movie is the mother-daughter dynamic. What can I say? I got mommy issues and will in fact eat up any movie that talks about it. Their relationship is so complicated, yet so honest. I will say it took me a few watches to reveal the beauties of their relationship, which, yes, you need to watch, like, Ladybird, like, I feel like you won't get it the first time sometimes, but the more you watch it, the more you, like, really see the symbolisms. You see, like, their relationship and the complexities of it. Like, it's just, I really recommend watching Ladybird multiple times if you haven't. Um, I will say it took me a few watches to reveal the beauties of their relationship, but with each watch, you notice new details. Coming from a person with an estranged relationship with their parents, I can't help but get emotional watching their interactions. How Ladybird wants to experience big things while her mother constantly puts her down, how her mother nitpicks unimportant details, how Ladybird had to put things in her own hands, New York City college apps in secret, to reach her goals behind her mom's back, etc. And as you can tell from this review, like I already see the movie in a different light because it's me like kind of talking down about the mother, like mother constantly putting her down, mother nitpick unimportant details. While she does that in the movies, I feel like I understand her a little bit more now, and I see the problems in both people, in Ladybird and in the mother and their flaws. So I feel like it's cool to like watch movies and grow with movies and like noting that growth every time you watch a movie. I feel that way with Before Sunrise as well, which I talked about in my last episode. Um, but also how, okay, but also how they can laugh and cry together, how they can be fighting at one moment but then gasp in awe over a beautiful dress they just found, how they can be cold to one another but then embrace in a big hug and tour houses for fun, etc. One scene I love that showcases their relationship perfectly is when Ladybird talks about her mom but then gets defensive about it to Danny. Your mom's hard on you. Yeah, well, she loves me a lot. She's not crazy, she just, she has a big heart. She's very warm. Like, yes, parents can be a lot, but also they love you. They're humans too, and humans are complicated and relationships are complex. Sometimes it's good to be empathetic and give grace. Ladybird still loves her mom at the end of the day, even through the struggles and flaws. Now, I have to talk about Sacramento. It just has to be done. Sorry, while other movies are based in Sacramento. Like Ladybird says, it's the Midwest of California. This movie single handedly made me love where I'm from and helped me romanticize it back in high school. Full circle back to the high school theme. How Ladybird felt throughout the movie was painfully relatable to me. It's exactly how I saw Sacramento too. I think it got me through a lot and helped me cope when I still lived there. It made me feel like, oh, maybe it's not so bad here. Of course, romanticization can only last for so long, but it definitely made me more grateful and proud of where I'm from. Also, anytime someone asks me where I'm from and what it's like there, I always have to end up referencing Ladybird. LOL. I love seeing places I recognize while watching. Oh, wait. I love seeing places I recognize while watching this movie. The paths and places I've known my entire life on the screen. It's so weird. This movie depicts Sacramento in such a perfect balance of realism and romance. Sacramento is a character in itself in this movie. Oh, to be able to run around the rose gardens with the person I love during dawn. I'm gonna wrap this up because it's getting too long. Bonus notes on my thoughts. The parallels of Ladybird and her mother at the end, makes me so emo. Ladybird moves out from Sac to a big city. I did the same. The score is so good. I play it every time I visit home to help fuel my Ladybird complex. The pretentious teen trope that Timothy plays is painfully accurate, and there's so many in Sac. It makes me cringe, but it wouldn't have been accurate without it. The little moment between Danny and Ladybird promising to keep a secret warms my heart. Aw. In general, love the showing of other characters and their side of the stories, such as Danny, their theater teacher, her brother and girlfriend, the dad. Scene where the dad and son are at the same job interview. I thought it was sweet. And lots of scenes showing surroundings and buildings. I love that. And also the quote about, like, isn't it, don't you think there's the same love and attention or something like that is the quote? Oh my gosh. I just really love this movie. I remember after watching it the other day, I was just like, oh, wow. Whoo, this movie's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. Anyway, that is all that is on Ox this week, and that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for listening. I have a dentist appointment to go to. Getting a cavity filled. All right. Okay. Bye, guys.